Hello, good people of the internet, and Happy New Year! 2021 is finally here, and I am so excited. I tend to believe that you can make a change in your life at any point in time. Every day is a new day, but of course, for me personally, the new year is a very exciting time, and it just comes with a lot of renewed motivation and a sense of hope for the future. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you guys some of my golden rules of goal setting that I have picked up through the years, through research and through my own personal experiences, just to help you guys make 2021 a great year for you and to help you achieve the goals that you've set for yourself this year. 2020 was definitely a very difficult year for a lot of us, and I just hope that some of these tips can help you feel a bit more hopeful and happy in the new year. If you've already set your goals and you learned some tips in this video that make you want to revise them a little bit, feel free to do that. There's no reason why you can't. And let's get into the video. Here are my best tips for achieving your goals in 2021. My first tip is to use the SMART acronym when you set your goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. Using the SMART goal setting technique helps you formulate your goals and word them in the best way possible to ensure success. So specific means don't say read more as a goal, say read X number of books this year or X number of pages every day. Measurable ties in very closely with setting a specific goal. So how will you measure your progress? How will you measure your success? Make sure that you formulate your goal in a way that allows you to actually track your progress. Setting an attainable goal means to set a goal that you actually feel like you can achieve. Of course, don't set a goal that's too easy. You want it to be a little bit ambitious to get you excited. But if you set yourself a goal where from the beginning you feel like there is no way that I can do this in 1 year, then you've already kind of killed your motivation, and somewhere at the back of your mind you know that this isn't something you're able to do and you're not really going to work towards it. So try to keep your goals ambitious enough to get you excited, but also realistic enough that you actually feel like you can do it. Setting relevant goals means don't set a goal if you don't really care about it. Don't set goals just because you feel like society expects you to do that thing. Set goals that are relevant to you, that make you feel happy, that make you feel excited. Commit to being true to yourself when you set your goals. And lastly, time bound. Your goals should have a set deadline. They say that you will always stretch out the amount of time it takes you to do something to fill the time you have been given to do that thing. So if you have an essay that you need to write and the deadline is in 3 months, it's going to take you 3 months to write that essay. If you have to write that same essay in 3 weeks, it'll take you 3 weeks. If you never set a deadline, you're just gonna keep on putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and it's gonna take you longer and longer and longer and longer to achieve this goal. So if you really wanna get something done, set yourself a clear deadline, have a clear idea in mind for when you want to achieve this goal by. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep procrastinating it and thinking, you know, I'll start tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and it keeps going like that. So that was tip number 1, your introduction to the SMART goal setting acronym. Tip number 2 is to redefine yourself and change the way in which you perceive yourself. In the book, The 4 Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin, she gives a great piece of advice for people like me who are rebels and struggle to meet both outer and inner expectations. She says that the best way for a rebel to get themselves to do something is to change their identity to match that thing. So think of yourself as, I am a healthy person. I am someone who works hard. I prioritize my family. Embody the goals that you want to achieve and weave that into how you perceive yourself and define yourself. Change your status quo and start making sure that your actions are in line with this new person that you want to become, this new identity that you've created for yourself. My next tip is to do the current me versus future me exercise. I first heard about this from Lavender. This tip helps a lot with the previous point of redefining yourself and changing your identity. You basically get a 2-page spread in your journal, and on one side you draw yourself as you currently are, a representation of who you are now, how you dress, how you act, and surround that with like speech bubbles and thought bubbles and little points and statements about what your life is currently like, what you are currently like. And on the other page, draw yourself as you would like to be in the future. Again, wearing the kind of clothes that you want to be wearing and surrounding yourself with statements of what kind of person you want to become. So on one side, you might write that I am lazy and unmotivated. And on the other side, you might write that I am creative and inspired. On one side, you might say that you're a little stressed out. And on the other side, you are taking care of yourself, prioritizing your mental health. This exercise helps you visualize and identify the kind of person that you want to become. My mom wanted me to give you guys an example of how something like this helped her. It wasn't exactly a current me versus future me exercise, but when she was deciding to go on a diet and lose weight, she asked my sister to draw a picture of her as, you know, the body type, the skinny body that she wanted to be in the future. So that's what my sister did. She drew a picture of my mom in a pink top and black trousers with a thin, slim body. And my mom put that up on her vision board. It was actually, we called it a wish tree. It was just like a lot of nice pictures on the wall. And about a year later, my mom bumped into a friend of hers at the supermarket, someone she hadn't seen in a long time. And coincidentally, she was actually wearing black trousers and a pink top, which is really rare because my mom doesn't really wear pink a lot. But she was wearing this pink top and she bumped into her friend, and her friend saw her and looked at her and said, "Wow, you look so thin. You look so good," you know? And it was really like a full circle moment for her. It just goes to show how this picture that my sister drew kind of like, I don't know, spoke to the powers that be and helped my mom manifest this body that she wanted to create for herself. On to tip number 4, another great journaling exercise is to fill out a life wheel. I really love doing life wheels because they help to give you a glimpse into which areas of your life are neglected and which ones are doing really well and maybe don't need as much attention. Life wheels are commonly used by life coaches. I mentioned this also in my how to make a vision board video, which you should check out. It'll be somewhere up here linked if you want to check that out. You can find an example of a life wheel online. There are lots of slightly different versions of them, but they generally encompass or strive to encompass all of the important areas of your life, such as your relationships, your career, your money, your home, etc. And the idea is you draw out this circle, you cut it into the sections, and you give yourself a score from 1 to 10 for all of the areas of your life on this life wheel, and you color it in, and then you see, you know, where are you doing really well and where are you doing not so well. If something scores very high, maybe you don't need to set a goal to improve that, and instead just need to strive to maintain that area of your life and keep it going well. And if there's an area that scores really, really low, then maybe that's somewhere where you need to focus and prioritize a little bit more with your goals. I find life wheels are great for creating balance in your life because oftentimes we will be doing really, really well in one area of our lives and really badly in another area of our lives. And I don't think that's the optimal way to create happiness and work-life balance. So yeah, maybe do a life wheel and see which areas of your life you need to focus your goals on to improve the things that have been neglected. Tip number 5 is to create mini milestones and mini goals along the way. This is really, really great for actually staying on top of your goals and keeping up with them. Have a rough idea in mind of what you need to do by the end of each month in order to stay on top of your goals and make progress. Sometimes it's not possible to plan this a whole year in advance, but I would recommend at least planning this out, 1 or 2 months in advance so that you know what you need to be focusing on each month. The idea with this is just to not let the work pile up until you end up with something unmanageable at the end of the year, and instead keep your progress flowing steadily throughout the year. So don't set a goal at the beginning of the year and then forget about it and think, I'll work on it when I work on it. Instead, make sure that you're putting in a little bit of work every single month to make sure that you can realistically achieve that goal by the end of the year. Tip number 6 is to celebrate small wins. Make it a habit to do an end of the month or end of the week review to celebrate the things that you did well, the progress you made, the mini milestones that you reached, and maybe also to acknowledge setbacks and look at the things that you could have done better. On the one hand, this helps you stay motivated by acknowledging your progress, and it also helps you to fix problems as you make tweaks along the way. It's important to learn to be your own cheerleader and to, really give yourself a pat on the back for the things that you do well throughout the year. Tip number 7, don't talk about your goals. Research shows that when you talk to people about your goals, it actually makes you less likely to achieve them. This is why I'm not making a New Year's resolutions video this year talking about my goals for the year. As it turns out, the praise and recognition that you receive from others just by talking about your goals often feels so good that you no longer feel the need to follow through and actually do those things. You feel that sense of accomplishment by receiving praise about what you're planning to do. You get that rush of feel-good hormones and endorphins, and because of that, your motivation to do the thing that you're talking about doing goes away. Other than this very scientific reason for not talking about your goals, there are also a few other factors I want to talk about, such as goals should be for you. They should be things that you do for yourself, not things that you do in order to prove yourself to somebody else. Also, some of the people that you choose to talk to about your goals might have discouraging, negative opinions that kill your motivation and make you feel stupid or silly for setting that goal in the first place. And most importantly, show people by doing, not by saying what you're going to do. Anyone can talk about it. Everyone wants to do things, but not everyone actually follows through. Learn to delay gratification. Don't seek praise and admiration for things that you are planning to do. Instead, wait to receive praise for the things that you have done. Learn to show a little bit of humility. No one likes a show off, and it can sometimes be a sign of insecurity. Instead, let others come to you with their praise and trust that your moment will come to be lauded and admired for your accomplishments. At the end of the day, like I said, your goals should be for you, so it doesn't really matter what other people think of your goals, so there's no need to talk to a lot of people about them. My last tip for achieving your goals in 2021 is to prioritize. There's this great quote that I have a love-hate relationship with, which is, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. I like to add my own little spin on it, which is you can do anything, but you can't do everything at the same time. What I mean by that is don't put too much on your plate and respect the season of life that you are in. There may be some projects or some things that you want to accomplish, but something else is more important right now and more urgent and more relevant to where you are in your life right now. And so some of those things that you want to do might need to be put off until later down the line. I'm definitely guilty of spreading myself too thin and kind of getting distracted by a lot of different ideas and projects and goals, and ending up in a place where I'm being stretched in a million different directions. I almost take pride in being a jack of all trades. But the truth is, there are only 24 hours in a day, and while you can always learn how to use those hours more productively, sometimes to do something really well, you have to be willing to give up on certain things or put them off until later down the line. Otherwise, you run the risk of never truly committing or dedicating yourself to anything. So what I like to do to keep myself in check is to create a goals list. These are the things that are in your control and are the priorities, the most relevant things for you right now, and a separate list of dreams or a would be nice list of things that are perhaps a little bit out of your control or things that you want to do but you're not sure if you'll have the time to do this year. That way you're not forgetting about those things, but you are still being realistic and kind of defining your focus and your priorities rather than stretching yourself in a million directions and not really fully accomplishing any of your goals. So those were my tips, my golden rules for goal setting to help you achieve your goals in 2021. I hope some of these were useful to you and that you learned something new in this video. I wish you guys all the best in 2021, and I hope you achieve as many of your goals as possible. Feel free to come back to this video at the end of the year and comment down below which goals you achieved with the help of my tips. If you like this video and you want to see more videos on adventure, lifestyle, and wellness, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell to be notified every single time I upload. You can also follow me on social media. All of my links are down below, as well as my Patreon where you can donate to support this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Have an amazing 2021, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!